Greetings, sunny, awesome, warm, positive, Body-Culinary, aka Flowah, Peaceful Eating. And we are celebrating my birthday month. Yay! It's also mango season. It's also really hot. So what better way than to celebrate my birthday with sharing all the things that I love. So anyone that knows me knows I love to play in my very fine kinky cotton hair. I love anything having to do with movement, fruits and vegetables, which I call peaceful consumption, and also garden therapy. So I decided to invite you all to join in the celebration with me. So we're gonna have like a lot of fun. If you like to move, if you haven't been moving, this is your perfect opportunity to come spend some good quality time with me. So we're going to be doing some movements. You know I'm an early bird. If you know me, you know I'm a super early bird. So you're welcome to come and join me to train for the rest of the month of May. So for all of those folks that are members of the Flower Fit community, you're welcome to come. Class is usually $15, but because it's my birthday, donation based. If you are a UGC member or UGC member on Patreon, you pay like a little fraction. And if you are a young flower, if you're coming with your mom's aunties, you can bring 16, was it 14, 15, 16. If they're coming with the auntie, they are $5. So again, the Flower Fit community, if you're a member of Flower Fit coaching and community, it's donation based. So there's nothing that I love more than to sweat with my homies. So shout out to all of my homies, my you know who you are, Pleasure Academy, one of my homies, Yamache, all of my homies from Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx, Belize, Barbados, come and sweat with me for the rest of the month. So, and also an honor, I love to celebrate life. Also, what we're going to be doing, so I really thought of this. I really like fun stuff. If you're able to get up early, we're going to be training at 5 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. So look at your Apple Watch or your world clock so you can set the clock, right? So we will be there. I will also be providing some coaching and corrective exercise. So it's very comprehensive. So I've been in the industry for many years. And if you have concerns about your knees, your joints, you won't be doing a whole bunch of jumping, but you will get a vigorous, joyous Tootsie Roll of a workout. Cardio, flexibility, and strength, all rolled into one, nice and efficient, along with some coaching. So that is my birthday gift, paying for the gift of life. I feel so excited. Also, what we're going to be doing is coming together around some nutrition. I love to plan food. You may know I'm a professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman. Shout out to you, whatever your expression is. So on this channel, on the Body-Culinary channel, Instagram, Facebook, I'm going to be sharing some recipes, stuff that is really easy. So we can make healthy eating as extravagant or as simple as we like. It does not have to be complicated. If I spent 30 years, you don't have to. It can be really nice and simple. So today we're going to be making a quick little recipe, and I'm big on reactivating the ways of the mothers and the grandmothers. What does that mean? Hey, greetings, Vicky. What that means is our grandmas, right? And I knew both of my great grandmothers on both sides were in their 90s, and my grandma Lou, who I talk about all the time, they were all in their 90s, rocking their natural skin, their natural hair. So I've gotten a lot of principles from my grandma Lou. She wasn't vegan, she wasn't vegetarian, but they had all of their scents. The most pleasant, present human being I have ever met. So she's actually my inspiration for eating the way that I do. Additionally, I like to take a lot of those Caribbean and Southern flavors, right, that are my cultural heritage. And I don't add the flesh at this point. And no label. This is not about being divisive, because all of us could benefit greatly from adding more whole, fresh, living fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So you can decide on a label. You can decide on the ratios. The more you start to crowd those things in, you'll start to find your sweet spot, right? So food is a wonderful opportunity for us to come together because we all have to eat, right? So that being said, at one time, think of it, our great grandmothers and grandmothers, they couldn't shop everywhere, right? So if they had a little garden, they were growing some herbs, or they had a lime tree, or they were baking bread, whatever it was, they shared it with the other women, hot sauce, seasoning, sending stuff back and forth. I witnessed this with my grandmother. And they made use of everything. So that is a principle with Body-Culinary, making use of what you have. And for years, I've been encouraging people to shop in bulk when you can. Find a food co-op. Shout out to the Park Slope Food Co-op. Been a member for years. The farmers market. If you have someone else that can be your shopping buddy to go with you, and you start buying your stuff by the case, that's going to save you a truckload of money, and it's going to save you a lot of time with having to shop, because then you'll have to channel the ways of the mothers and grandmothers. Instead of shopping, you'll start to get really creative with the ingredients that you have on hand. So with a bit of education, you can learn eventually to be really creative with whatever is available to you, what is in season, which means the food is going to taste better and it's going to be less expensive, right? And you'll just be creative flipping those different dishes every which way to Sunday, right? If you do not have a fancy Vitamix, if you don't have a dehydrator, no worries, because our great grandmothers and our grandmothers, they didn't have all of that stuff. They used what they had, and you will be amazed. You will be amazed at all the different things that you can create. So we're definitely going to be using our plant milk bag today. And then, by the way, for you folks that are on the YouTube channel on Body-Culinary, welcome if this is your first time here on Body-Culinary, professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman, mother, and I'm a lover of a natural lifestyle, or as close as I can get to it in these times that we're living in. And I also really love to share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance, really celebrating and appreciating the unique features I have been divinely assigned while here on the earth. And so I have very, very fine, kinky, cottony textured hair. And I really love being out, released from hair jail. So I talk a lot about that on this channel. I also love to share 3 lifestyle practices, 3 leverage lifestyle practices that we all actually have access to and can really leverage your time spent on the internet, right? Hopefully, wherever you're spending your time and attention, you're getting something back more. One of my little litmus tests is if I'm inspired, after I come away from an interaction with someone or even on these screens, I do a check. Am I inspired to get into action around the things that I say I value, my core values? If I'm not, that's a dramatic leaching and wasting of my time. So perhaps consider a really good use of your time checking, are you learning something? Are you inspired to get into your movement practice, into the garden, not just rhetoric, right? But to actually do something that's going to make you feel good, give you a shot of feel good hormones, doing something healthy for your body. A lot of you guys would probably, if I came over to your house with my double Dutch rope and my really good music, I have good taste in music, and my roller skates and a really beautiful pie, it would be a no-brainer. We would be just spending good time, quality time together. You wouldn't even think about it. So ideally, that's naturally what we would be doing. However, many of us may be the one person in our family or the one person in our office or the one person in our immediate surroundings that really has an incentive and a vested interest in upgrading or perhaps totally shifting the way that you are consuming. So I like to call it peaceful consumption, right? That's another one of my litmus tests. Is the food, is it peaceful to your arteries? Is it peaceful to your colon? Is it peaceful to your skin? Is it peaceful to your mood, right? Is it peaceful? Is the food or perhaps the substances masquerading as food, is it leaving a lot of waste on your waistline? Do you feel sluggish? Now, don't get me wrong. I was a junk food junkie. And that whole party that was going on in my mouth left me with a face that was looking like the sidewalk. At one time doing fitness competitions, I was looking ripped up and toned, but my face, I was like, I can't figure out why my skin looks like this when I eat so healthy. Well, it was also a lot of the health junk that I was kidding myself that I was eating. So it is really amazing to me with all the candy bars, and I was a potato chip aficionado, especially the barbecue ones. It is amazing to me, even fried food. Oh, I thought, was it chicken and broccoli from the Chinese store? That was health food back in the days, right? All of those starchy vegan patties. I was a starchitarian at one time. So one of my heaviest weights was as a vegetarian, right? And my face was looking crazy with acne. So it wasn't products that cleared it up. It was simply whole, fresh distinction, living, unprocessed foods that cleared my skin up and allowed my body, your body knows what to do, to fall to a natural, healthy weight. Your body knows what to do when we stop pumping it with substances that are masquerading as food, as good as they taste. Now, all of that sounds fantastic. However, as someone that really loves to eat and that has Southern and Caribbean background, there's no way with my highly addicted taste buds, there's no way I would be able to sustain if I did not have food that I really enjoy and had something to look forward to. That is critical. So the way that I'm eating now is sustainable. I can travel with it. This took me a while, years to figure all this out. Any kind of spending plan or budget, I feel so comfortable that I can eat this way. And food, I've taken it off the table. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So you'll have to find your sweet spot, right? And you'll get feedback from your body in terms of your energy level, the scent or odor of your body, your skin, your elimination, all of these things. You know, if you have a whole bunch of waste, or the technical term for fatty tissue, adipose tissue, around your waistline, that is a communication. Your body's communicating with you all the time. All of that whiteheads, blackheads, cystic acne that I had, I could be upset all I want. Yet it was a communication. My body was telling me and showing me how it was responding to the things that I put in it. So I can call it whatever label I'd like to. However, our body is a fingerprint, right? And usually just one or two juices every now and then may not be enough to really reverse the years and years of habits that we have had, right? So, you know, in your quiet moments, what you want to feel, or how your body feels, or your energy level. And we may not realize that a lot of time our vitality and our energy is slowly seeping away as we're spending hours now, because these screens are enticing. It's hypnotic. I'm humble. We're spending hours in fright and fear, you know, in paralysis in the movie screen of our mind while we're snacking. So, you know, I was just talking with a client, somebody in coaching this morning, and just I have my own little philosophy. I'm very clear that I call it triggeration. We're in an environment of triggeration. So we're constantly being triggered subconsciously. And one of the most socially acceptable ways that we cope and self-soothe with these triggers is to constantly eat. Even if we call it veggie patties, even if we call it fruit juice sweetened cookies, and fruit juice sweetened lollipops, and fruit juice vegan ice cream, you know, the same hot dog, potato chip, Kool-Aid mentality follows us, but we just put a vegan vegetarian label on it. And we're wondering why we still don't get the optimal results that we would like. This body is really divinely designed. So all that to say that I'm inviting you all to come and move with me. Join me in a personal movement practice that is a nice little Tootsie Roll of cardio, flexibility, dynamic flexibility, and strength. And you don't need to leave your house. You don't need any equipment. So you'll need to fill out the link. If you go to Holistic Fit, you'll find it there, or you can reach out to me at info@body-culinary.com. You can also go on. You'll need to download the Discord app, right? You'll need to download the Discord app, and everyone will be vetted so that we know that it's a safe environment. So we know who everyone is. So fill out the application and the waiver, and you can come get down with me in the mornings. So in the morning, we train. In the afternoon, like today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be making some food. I always get questions about what kind of food I'm making. So I'm not regimented. I don't need to be. And that is a really good indicator of being in your sweet spot, where you can relax around your food and use whatever is available. So I have things growing out in our little garden, and I also supplement with things that I get from the local farmer. So whatever's available, that's what we're going to be making, right? If you don't have fancy stuff, not necessary. So just come bring yourself. That's going to be at 2 o'clock for the rest of the month of May. You'll see the flyer is posted in the community section on Body-Culinary, and it is also posted on Kwasa with a K, peaceful, like full belly eating, on Facebook, and in Body-Culinary on Facebook and should be also on Instagram. So 2 o'clock, we're going to be doing some whole, fresh living, unprocessed foods, nutrition. And in the evening, we're going to be doing Afro Soul Flow. So that's going to be stretch, relaxation, and breathing and journaling. And also, I know they call it intermittent fasting, but my grandmother did not call it intermittent fasting. It was like, when it's dark, it's time to go to bed. So that's one of my Achilles heels, right? Is usually the sleep. Even if we're eating all of this healthy food, it's really challenging for the body to repair and uptake and use all of that food and to rest if we're not getting enough sleep. So I think it's at 9 o'clock, 9:30. We're going to be doing stretching and core. So there's going to be a movement practice. Not all the strength training. It's going to be a little challenging. But for the most part, we want to open up the joints so the body is nice and pliable. And it's a wonderful way to assist you in getting a very deep rest. So that's going to be in the evening. So the flyer is an Eastern Standard Time. And then lights out is going to be at 10 o'clock. So whatever, I don't know what your eating window is. However, if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, then if you're getting 8 hours, that is fantastic. And you can simply push your eating time down. So those people in Flowah Fit coaching and community, we're going to be talking about and continually, because they're already on the path of unprocessed foods, tweaking what kinds of recipes we're going to be doing as we push our eating window down. So this is never to deprive you of nutrients. This is just so that you give your nervous system and your digestive system a rest, because many of us have one undigested meal on top of another undigested meal on top of another one, and we can never get to tap into that onboard fuel tank, right? A lot of times, even when we go to do a movement practice, aka exercise, I see folks on the treadmill, the stair mill, drinking a mocha loca latte right before they start working out. So we go over a lot of this in Flowah Fit coaching and community, especially for women. This may be some just basic education, some reasons why you're not seeing results, these little distinctions. So if you're eating a whole bunch of stuff right before you start working out, the body's not able to go into that stored fuel tank, right? So we're going over a lot of it. I know there's going to be a lot of questions. All right, so that being said, check it out. So anything else, UGC members and UGC Patreon members, there's a little special something there for you. So you're welcome to come and sweat with me, especially all my UGC girls. Shout out to UGC and beloved Southwest Ray, and definitely shout out to my godmother, who is such an inspiration, consistent, six-pack energy, and still doing work over there with women in Africa. So let's see. Oh, and again, if you have a young person, someone that's 14, 15, or 16, if they are accompanied by a mom, then they are welcome to come in for $5. So that's my birthday celebration. Okay, so let's say we're going to make today. What we have on hand today is some carrots. That these need to be used. And I don't know if many people realize that a lot of carrots are a purplish red at the tip of them. We have some carrots growing out in the yard, but they're not ready. So we also talk about that in Flowah Fit. I'm definitely encouraging everyone to start growing something. This is not, a diet. This is part of a healthy lifestyle. Plus, there's so much stress relief and release inside of the garden. That's why I call it garden therapy. So we're going to be using our plant milk bag, and we're going to use these carrots. So whatever, if there's anything said, this is going to compost, or this will also go into our worms. So we have several worm bins. We have some red wigglers, right? It's got all kinds of stuff going on. We got bunnies over here. This is part of the lifestyle. So this is going to go into the compost. So we're not going to waste anything. And we're going to use our plant milk bag. So we're going to use the carrots. I also have some pineapple. The top of the pineapple we're going to cut, and this we're going to plant. So we're going to plant. This is great for your children, Mom. This will also, even for the adults, this can give you a whole nother respect for your food, right? We say holistic, but the environment that we're in has us really kind of limited in our thinking. Plus, we're rushing, right? So let's think of it. This is whole, which I say all the time, whole, fresh, living, unprocessed food. This has a lot of weight on it because of the living water in it. So I can use everything here. I can replant the top, right? So I'm going to cut all the sugar off of here. I can also use the skin. Pineapple has a lot of bromelain in it, which is a digestive enzyme. So I can use this for a tea, which I love to do with fresh turmeric and jengibre or ginger and the pineapple skin. And that is really delicious. That is a very beautiful tea that you can make that doesn't need any sweetener. So again, if we're going to look to pull out this refined sugar, which is of concern for many of us, there's so many more reports of CANCER. And if you do your research, if you research GERS therapy, juicing, one of the ways that we're feeding these wayward cells is with sugar, especially refined sugar. And many people don't make the distinction with the carbs. These carbs are great. Now, you may, again, need to find what works for you in terms of if your blood sugar is compromised, if you're insulin resistant. So no matter how you slice it, you'll have to come, if you participate on your journey and get active, you're going to learn along the way. And it's a lot of fun. And this smells really, really delicious. So we're going to use every part of it. I can use the core, I can use the top, I can use the skin. So that is the goal here. This is our Afro Flowah and Afronomics, right? We're using everything, right? And I do have some ginger in there. This is a little side note. So whatever I make here with juice, I can reinvent it, right? I have some really nice, really potent sea moss that's grown locally or harvested locally. And just so you see, we have quite a bit of sprouts. Sunflowers, we're getting ready to sprout these. So these are germinating. And also, we have some mung beans also that we are sprouting. So yes, it is possible to just live off of whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods. All right, so let's get a peeler. And so we can peel our carrots. All right, let's peel our carrots. And where is my plant milk bag? Oh, I just dropped it. So we're also going to be using the plant milk bag. So if you don't have one of those fancy smancy blenders, it's not a problem. You don't have to go out and spend a whole bunch of money. Look, I luxuriate all the time, but I'm not spending a whole lot of money on this hair because it's not necessary. Actually, this is one of the most fantastic DNA markers and beauty marks on the planet, right? So you can use a bag, and this material is excellent. For years, I've used produce bags. This is one that I make. I find, though, when you're using cheesecloth, as some folks that want to juice without a juicer, you can use cheesecloth. Although the holes are so big, a lot of time you'll get a lot of pulp and sediment into your juice. And I can tell you as a chef, putting the chef hat on, the texture, the temperatures, flavor balancing, all of that can make a really big difference in your enjoyment of the food. We want the enjoyment factor to be high. Something else I'm going to point out, the way I'm doing over here, I don't juice as much fruit. I don't really juice fruit anymore. Years ago, I used to juice a lot more fruit. So I'm not juicing a lot of fruit anymore at this time. Why? Because I am watching my blood sugar, and I'd rather get satiated with all of that whole fresh fiber. So we're going to peel the carrots. Now, if your carrots are I have a list, are organic, you don't need to peel them, but you do want to make sure that you're scrubbing them. So I'm going to peel these a little bit. And then the pulp, you can take the pulp. Well, if you use a juicer, but I'm not going to use a juicer today. You can chop your vegetables up nice and small, and you can put them inside the compost bin. And I've just made several vermicompost, which is composting with worms, right? Because their compost is like liquid, is not liquid, but it's like gold. It's one of the best things you can put into the garden, those worm castings, and they're very expensive. So Afronomics, why not let's grow our own, right? Cultivate our own soil. If you're in the city, in the area where the soil is not so good, or you're near the highway, it is likely you'll have to remediate your soil, right? There are several things that you can plant to pull toxins out of the soil, or lead and different chemical exhausts out of the soil. They'll go into that plant and you'll toss it, right? And you can remediate or grow your soil, right? You can change or transform your dirt into soil, right? So again, if your carrots, if they're not organic, and I know we have some of the folks that follow, some folks that don't eat carrots. I do eat carrots. I will eat what's available as organic as I can. I invite you to, you know, use the best of what you have available to you. You know, I remember one time where, as a young mom, I didn't even know about organic. So joining a food co-op was a good way for me to get to sample a lot of organic produce, sometimes at the same price or a little bit less than the conventional produce. So now, distinction. This is this little body culinary style. I love distinctions. Distinctions make the difference, right? Usually when we're doing carrot juice or we go to any of these juice bars, we're getting big, like almost those Slurpee cups full of juice. And although it's natural, many of us are, we have compromised blood sugar, or we may have yeast, or simply just a lot of cravings. And there are some ways that you can stimulate what is called, what I call false appetite, right? Or too much sugar. So that's number one. Number two is good bacteria, a really healthy gut biome, right? The terrain inside your gut, which the gut is also considered your first brain. Your first brain, think about that. Your gut is considered your first brain. Too much sugar, too much of all of, and this is natural sugar. So when people say I don't eat carbs, I eat carbs. I eat avocados. I eat real food, real, whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods. I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to repeat it. So how can we balance the sugar out, right? I don't juice all the time, but when I do juice, there are a couple of things that I'm doing that can make a big difference in balancing out your blood sugar and getting a good amount of nutrition in there, right? There are ways to balance it out. So we don't necessarily need to eat humongous containers of juice, because you probably couldn't even finish like 2 or 3 of these carrots, right? So we're just used to these huge portion sizes. The same thing with the orange juice. I would recommend that with the orange and the grapefruit, that you eat the whole fruit so you can get the fiber. Good bacteria in your gut biome, it proliferates, it grows, it does a little happy dance, you know, it does the wop when it gets fiber. So we want the fiber. Now, there are times where I can juice, and I'm going to use everything. So the fiber from the carrots, right, and I'm only going to use 3 today, I can take the pulp and I can put it out inside of my worm bins in my garden so that I get compost juice that leaches out into from the holes in the compost bins. And I share some of that on Body-Culinary and on Kwasa Peaceful Eating on TikTok and Body-Culinary on YouTube. So that juice, that compost tea, will leach out into the garden, and also it will feed my worms. It feeds my worms. Yes, I have bunnies and worms over here. It feeds my worms, and they can multiply quickly. So for you folks interested in gardening, everybody can grow something. Any place you're paying rent or mortgage, you can grow something, right? So we're not going to use gargantuan amounts of fruit sugar, right? So this is actually going to make things easy for you. And let's say if you don't have a fancy Vitamix, you might only have a NutriBullet, right? So what you're going to do is we're going to cut up, we're going to chit chat, right? So I've said to some of my clients over the years, right? We only have so many hours in the day. So maybe perhaps make a little deal with yourself, you know, or let your folks know, listen, if I'm going to chit chat with you, I got to get something out of it. So you can put your headphones on and you can chit chat while you're cutting up vegetables, right? So you're leveraging your time, right? You got to be able to come away with something, because a lot of times in appeasing others, right? When we're going out at special events, or we're eating what everybody else is eating just to go along, to get along, and then compromising your own results, right? And that's no bueno. This is not that season. I don't tell grown folks what to do, especially if you're not paying me. But this is not the season to be acquiescent to everybody else unless you want their results, right? So clarity is more than worth its weight. So I'm just cutting the carrots up into chunks so that the blender can handle them. So I don't have my Vitamix with me here right now. My Vitamix is another location. So I'm going to use what we have. I'm big on use whatever you have. Many of us have fitness equipment that we're not using, that have laundry hanging on it. Many of us have appliances that you were gifted with, or when you had a moment of momentary enthusiasm. You got fitness equipment that has laundry on it. You have appliances that you're not using. Maybe you got it for your wedding registry or for your birthday. And we're not using this stuff. So now is a great time to bring it out. So in us limiting, right, instead of using 1 or 2 bags of carrots, because it can take you sometimes 2 1-pound bags of carrots to even get a glass of juice, right? And we don't necessarily need all of that sugar at one time, especially if you're not moving vigorously on a regular basis, right? So these are some distinctions, right? A lot of times we're not getting sleep and our bodies are burnt out. So it's going to be great. This is also going to be support for me to cut stuff off and go to bed. You want clear skin? You want your body's weight to shift? Go to bed. So you can reverse engineer your schedule. So you'll start, when you start to do this and you have positive accountability, which works with coaching, you'll start to be a lot more conscientious of the time wasters or conversations about nothing that are not leading anywhere. Again, are you encouraged to get, and as far as to get into action around what you say you value when you leave a communication? So let's just eat. I'm going to use a good old NutriBullet because I think a lot of people have NutriBullets. Now, I can do several things with this. My brain is already thinking of lots of different things to do with this. So, distinction. We don't need everything super duper sugary sweet like that. So many of us are drinking too much sugar without the fiber. Again, I'm going to use the fiber that's left over from this. So use the cleanest water of whatever is available to you. People always ask me, what water filters do you use? I've had so many water filters. I'm the girl that's had at least 10 juicers, if not, because I can't help it. I love chef's equipment. But also, I don't like to be dependent on equipment. If you give me a knife and a cutting board, I'll go to town. So I'm going to use today, I have a different filter. And I've been experimenting with different filters that can go off-grid. Right. So here's the Vitamix. And also, in honor of our cocoon, which is what I like to call it, like go in. It's time for many of us, especially as women, go in to the cocoon and bloom, as I like to say. You know, go ghost. People are looking for you like, what happened to her? She's not available. You somewhere having fun in the garden, relaxing in the garden. You somewhere getting your sweat on, making yourself feel good, drug-free. Getting the body and mind, you know, you get this tight, then the behind is going to get tight. So let's just take a moment. 1 second. I'm going to post this. So we never want to blend it to the point where it gets hot. And we will take. So notice what we're doing by using water and cutting down on the carrots. We're cutting down on a lot of the sugar. Again, if you don't have a super fancy smancy blender, then cut your stuff up in chunks. And it actually doesn't take that long because we're not having to wash out the juicer. So here's the plant milk bag. I still have some of these on my website, and it's the quality and the type of fabric. So this is like super sturdy. I've had this for years, and I can grow sprouts in this. I've grown sprouts traveling abroad. I've done so much with this, right? Different than cheesecloth. So let's pour the carrots. And I like to also think, you know, for my folks that are interested in gardening, if I eat it, I plant it. Anything I can get the seeds from, right, I will plant it. So I have a nice big measuring cup. I think this one takes a liter, right? So many people do not like to count calories. We were talking about that this morning in Flowah Fit coaching and community, which, by the way, for young women or women in general that are interested in a healthy lifestyle. Now, I will make a distinction. I like to come together around an activity. So there's lots of channels for all of this stuff all over the place. If it has anything to do with fruits and vegetables, movement, garden therapy, you got my attention. Thank you. My birthday is actually on the 14th, but I'm celebrating. I'm inviting you all to celebrate with me. So people always ask me about nutrition. So I'm giving y'all some of my secrets. And my skin was looking like the sidewalk. So anytime somebody tells me I have great skin, I'm like, if y'all only knew, why don't y'all scroll back in the community section and see my skin was looking like the sidewalk. So I'm going to, instead of milking the cow, we're going to milk the plant milk bag, right? So the nice thing is that all the pulp is not coming through. Let me see if I can turn the camera a little bit. All the pulp is not squeezing through because of the texture of the fabric. So this is like my favorite fabric. So I still have some left. I didn't send all of them out. So if you go on to the website or you send me an email, info@body-culinary.com, I will send you one. And my favorite things are kente, bicycle seat covers, plant milk bags, and waist beads. So I like to share the things that I really enjoy. So what we've done essentially is cut a lot of the sugar, right? And it's, just think about it. People are getting humongous bottles and jars almost of sugar juice, even if it's natural. So we significantly cut that. So I could drink this like this. I can do several different things with this. I can put this into make a soup with this. I can actually today I'm going to add pineapple to this. And pineapple is natural, has bromelain in it, but also you want to be aware of the sugar. And if I wanted to later, I'm going to blend up my sea moss. And traditionally in the Caribbean, most folks boil their sea moss. I'm not going to be boiling any of my sea moss. I prefer my stuff living. And the way I think about it, again, instead of just thinking about the labels, which is very easy. And I was there years ago. It's easy to ego trip off. I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian, I'm keto, I'm a bodybuilder. That does not necessarily mean that you have the results or that it's sustainable or that you're healthy. I've been in the fitness industry for years, and I tell you, I have a book sitting in my computer called "What Your Personal Trainer Will Not Tell You." You'd be shocked. Thank you, Solar Peace. My birthday is on the 14th, but I'm celebrating for the rest of May, and I'm inviting you all in with me. So I actually do not boil my sea moss because my frame of thinking is I want the nutrition, right? The nutrition inside the whole food. I want the integrity. I want it as potent as possible for my cells because my cells recognize the difference, right? So there's no right or wrong. If you start to incorporate a whole lot more fresh fruits and vegetables, your palate is going to change. I'm telling you. There were so many things I just couldn't stand in terms of health food. You would have never, sea vegetables, I would have never eaten sea vegetables. But because I knew certain things were good for me, I retrained my palate. And it's also a natural process. So I'm not going to boil this. I'm going to make this live. So I'm not going to heat it. But there are many people, and when it was first introduced to me years ago, because my family's from the Caribbean, usually people boil it. I do not boil my sea moss. And this is excellent for minerals, your skin, your nails, your hair. So I prefer to get my nutrition from the food instead of pills, right? So I've got all of this nice, bright pulp. And, you know, for you folks, if you have acne, I'm telling you, I spent a truckload. I spent on Proactive, all of these gels and scrubs at the health food store. And then it occurred to me, none of it was working, by the way. That was like a little small fortune right there. Then it occurred to me as I was in the food co-op about to buy a cucumber facial scrub. And I was like, you just bought a case of cucumbers. And when they're organic years ago, sometimes the price could go up almost to $10 a pound, depending on the time of the year. That can get very, very expensive. So it occurred to me, wait a minute, if the products that I'm eating are primarily going on the inside, then why don't I start using the food on my face? So yes, shout out to one of the people that have seen me inside the gym or on Equinox rubbing food on my face. I'm not ashamed. So this pulp, I'm going to use this inside of the garden. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut the pineapple. So again, I could just have this on ice by itself. Let's get our serrated knife. And let's cut some pineapple. And again, we're going to use everything of the pineapple. So, it smells so good. Woo, fresh pineapple because it's local, it's not so expensive. If you want to take the pineapple and you want to sprout it so that you can grow it, you want to make sure that you pull all of this off. So how you liking my birthday celebration? So you want to make sure you cut all of that off. So you see I just went around and I pulled that off. So, but I want to make sure I trim away all of the sweet part, right? Because also the ants will come for it. And then I can sit this in water to sprout. So y'all let me know if y'all try this out. I have a whole bunch of these growing in the yard, right? Your eyes are going to change when you think about how much we're leaving on the table. So I'm going to trim this off, and this we're going to put inside some water so that we can sprout it. So I can hear my sister over there going with her vitamins. So trim that up really good. All the extra sugar you're going to take off, and this is going to go inside the water, and it's going to grow into a little pineapple. Okay, so now let's trim off the rest of the pineapple. So I'm going to use my serrated knife, my knife with the teeth. And I'm going to compost this. Well, some of it I can compost, and also I'm going to compost it. Actually, I can make a tea with this instead of Kool-Aid and Gatorade, and we'll spend like $2-3 sometimes. I don't know how much it is. Y'all let me know how much these drinks cost now. You can make some things that are lightly sweet, very refreshing. You can use all the pulps and the skins for so much. And then when you've extracted everything out of it, then you can put it inside the compost. So if your skin is communicating to you with whiteheads, blackheads, that's telling you something. That's telling you also, I know we're so concerned about the muscles and the skin, but it's telling you about your organs. Perhaps your organs have been taking a beating from all of the processed foods. So I can use all of this. I'm going to use every part of the pineapple. So I'm going to put that to the side. Oh, this smells delicious. There's nothing like fresh fruit. Now, if you're in the States, a lot of the time, right? So I'm just going to cut that in half. And actually, you know, a whole pineapple is actually not a whole lot of calories. It is a fruit that has a good amount of sugar in it, but it's not as much calories as several tablespoons of oil. So I just cut the core out of it, and I'm going to use this much of the pineapple. So we're not using pineapple and a whole bunch of syrup, right? Make sure you trim also the little eyes, because sometimes that can get in your mouth, especially if the pineapple is not ripe, and that can make your gums bleed. The pineapple, when it's not ripe, it's much more acidic. So the beautiful thing, we're not using any oil or anything here, so I can just rinse this with water, which I like. So I use so much fruits and vegetables. I don't cook in oil. Actually, I'm not cooking with the stove at all. I do have some teas. I did go out and get a hot plate because I had some folks that were visiting. But I prefer food that is cooked by the sun. And many of us may not see, again, this is a local pineapple. Sometimes you can actually find the seeds inside of the pineapple, right? So anything that has a seed, I will plant it, right? So I'm only using a quarter of the pineapple. And this is really ripe and it's fresh. So it's not that pale yellow. So that's about what it looks like. This is a quarter of the pineapple. And I'm going to pour our carrot juice that we made with the plant milk bag in it. And let's blend that up. So this is actually still a good amount of sugar. So I don't care for things freezing cold, but it's been over 100 degrees. Or if I wanted to stretch this, and if let's say if I wanted to stretch this, or like if I have guests that are coming through, I'm going to take care of my folks. So let's blend this right in NutriBullet. I don't want to overblend. So now I've added fiber back to the juice. So this could be several servings. So I like to, in our nutrition class, Common Sense Nutrition, we do effective, efficient fitness to cut all the guesswork out of why you have or don't have results. If you're experiencing acne, there's a reason. If you have extra adipose tissue, the technical term for fatty tissue around your waistline, which is the most dangerous place to have it, That's a communication. Something is off with you. Not bad, not wrong. If you don't have the results, the energy level you're looking for, that means that you don't have a sweet spot yet, where it's actually effortless to maintain your weight. And I do have half of a thyroid. My body can run cold very easily, and I can gain weight very, very easily. So it is such a relief to not have to worry about food, because it's whole, fresh living. Your cells know the difference, right? So this is a good amount of juice. Let me chill it so I can stretch the sugar even more, because I added, it's only a quarter of a pineapple, so you saw it wasn't that much. However, we have just enough sweetness, a little bit more than just enough sweetness. We're not doing agave, we're not doing honey. It's actually not necessary, particularly when your fruit is ripe. So I will grab some ice cubes. We put some filtered water. So we did put some filtered water into our ice cube thingies. You can have it chilled or not chilled. I'm going to use the same strainer. Okay. You can make this chill. I'm dropping my ice cubes, child. I'm dropping my ice cubes. So we can stretch it, we can chill it. If you carry thermoses, I'm big on thermoses and containers. I'm the queen of food containers and cute food bags. Because the reality is, a lot of times we're taking our food on the road with us. Our busy lifestyle. You're a mom, you're in school, you're working, you're going to school. Today we have busy lifestyle. So I don't play that. Because I was a junk food junkie. My skin was looking real crazy. And I just got really clear, especially if you're a mom. I am a mom. I have a policy, but if it's not in the bag, don't ask. But that being said, I make sure my food is cute, it's attractive, it's in spill-proof containers, and I take it with me. So we add a little bit of ice cubes. So that was only 3 carrots and a quarter of a pineapple. So before I forget, make sure you click on the Discord link so that you can fill out the waiver if you're going to be exercising with me, because I am inviting you all to share with me in exercise and movement and intermittent fasting, though that's not what grandma called it. That's not what grandma called it. When it's dark, you go to sleep. So I'm inviting you to go into the cocoon with me at 10 o'clock as lights out. But before that, 9 o'clock, 9:30, look at the schedule. We're going to be doing stretch, core, relaxation, and goal setting. So isn't this exciting for the whole month of May? So let's look at how much juice. Jugo de piña y zanahoria. So that's a liter of juice, no sweetener. And I gotta have my little cute glasses, y'all. Gotta have my little cute glasses. So I still have 3/4 of a pineapple left, and I only use 3 carrots. And actually, I'm sitting here chit-chatting with you, but this is not taking me long at all. Let's taste, shall we? That's good. Give me a little straw, child. Your skin is like, thank you. Thank you for not busting my cells up with all of that sugar. Delicious, right? So it's sweet. So it may be a shock to some of you to not have your stuff so overly sweet. Again, if you're not exercising and moving athletically, then why are we pumping so much sugar? Now, do keep in mind, always want to exercise some common sense. We have all of our bodies are different in terms of our needs, right? So I would never encourage someone to deprive their body of nutrition, or if you're underweight, you want to be very conscientious of bio individuality, right? All of our different bodies. So again, you can find your sweet spot in terms of your portions. Though most of us are eating way too much sugar and we're not understanding the timing. It's so much information overload. You can just say, oh, overload. I'm like, oh, screw it. Let me just keep eating what I'm eating. So I just wanted to point out to you Something simple like 2 ingredients with some ice cubes is sweet. It's sweet enough. You can also put this in a refrigerator. Being that there are no chemicals or stabilizers in it, when you're making fresh oils, because yes, over here we do all of that stuff from scratch. This is an art. This is fun. This is the ways of the mothers and the grandmothers. When your food is fresh, sometimes it will separate, right? And this is just as smooth as if I had juiced it, right? With the plant milk bag, because of how fine it is, and the material is really, really sturdy. So that's one of my favorite items. So you don't have to have a really fancy Vitamix, not necessary. So remember in the beginning, you cut those vegetables up really, really small. So you can have something that's sweet. Now, do keep in mind that movement and nutrition are not exclusive of each other. They're not. It's part of a lifestyle, of a healthy lifestyle. So inside of, I'm really excited. I hope you'll come along with me. During our movement practice, I like to add a lot of coaching at the same time, because it's what I found is effective. And light bulbs will start going off all day long, right? A lot of things are going to start to make sense. A lot of the blind spots, perhaps, that you're missing when it comes to your vitality, maybe your body odor, your skin, why am I not seeing results? You're going to be getting a lot of coaching. So I do hope that you will join me. If you go on over to Holistic Fit, you'll see the application for Flowah Fit Coaching and Community. You do want to fill out the application so I know your email and I know your name, who you are, so we can identify and vet you, so that it is a safe space where we can relax. And we will be starting at 5 a.m. sharp. So again, if there are young women, you have to be, if you're accompanied by an auntie or a mommy, young girls can come in for $5, but you have to have an adult with you. If you are part of UGC or UGC Patreon, there's a nice little something in there for you. And if you're part of the Flowah Fit community, you're donation based. So you can just give a donation in honor of my birthday. So, I really want to just give a shout out. I don't know if you'll see this, to my godmother, who is one of my absolute inspirations, in addition to my grandma Lou. She's been so consistent because when I was younger, I have chilled now. I so badly needed to see representation counts. I needed to see an Afro. I needed to see a Black woman who was healthy and living her best life. I needed to see her in action. I needed to see what she was eating and drinking and juicing, and how she was moving and making decisions. And this woman is the most dynamic Black woman, Afro woman, African woman I have ever met in my life. Ever. So, what's happening, my Kepara? Shout out to Samsut Olabamadele husband, my godmother. And she's godmother to so many other children. She is my absolute inspiration. When I think I'm tired or I can't move, I'm full of energy. So I can only hope to do my version of leaving a legacy, because she is legacy, and she's alive. She's still doing it. We don't have to wait for people to pass. So I know my legacy is fruits and vegetables and movement, and also part of the garden. So Silicon, hey, greetings, Carolyn, and Soul of Peace, and Antoinette. Let me know. I want to know if you tried this out. I want to make things really, really simple, so that you feel encouraged, so you can shift. You have light bulbs going on all the time, like, hey, I could do this. I could have been doing this the whole time. I can eat healthy and I can enjoy it, right? Without pounding sugar down. And we also want to earn our meals. So the physical activity is necessary for your mood, so you can get a good dose of feel-good chemicals from the inside. So we're going to be continuing Monday through Thursday to celebrate my solar return, my birthday gifts, and all that stuff are welcome. I'm saying yes to the universe in terms of giving and receiving. So comment, let me know if you try it. Let me know if you got any value out of today's sharing. I feel just so super, I feel very super excited. It also is because whenever I work out, I feel like $1,000,000. There's nothing that makes me feel better and more electric and full of integrity and confident than a personal movement practice. So this evening, it's on like Donkey Kong. We're going into the cocoon. So we're doing intermittent fasting. We're doing core and stretch and flow. That's going to be at 9 o'clock. So please do fill out the application so I know who you are. So the link is there. Cash App and PayPal is there. You can see what category you fall into. And I look forward to seeing you in the evening. So if you're new here, feel free, if you find value, to like, comment, subscribe. And I invite you to maybe perhaps so you can create support for yourself. One of my secret weapons is to be unapologetic in creating support for myself. To replay these videos as you're cutting vegetables, as you're decluttering, or as you're stretching on your stretch mat. Like, comment respectfully, and subscribe. And I will see you soon. Hopefully I'll see you this evening. Happy birthday to me! See y'all soon. Yeah.